Hey guys, Justin here, American Mustang School. I'm with Cinnamon. We're going to start our next hour, and it's going to be character development. So we like to focus on 5 main areas of our life in horsemanship. 5 main areas being health, wealth, happiness, relationships, spirituality. If we can actually pay attention to those 5 areas of our life in horsemanship, think, do, become, form habits, create a character, basically choose one polarity or the other. Do we want peace or do we want chaos? And that's that character development. I want peace for my horse. I want non-chaotic behavior. I want her responding to questions quietly rather than reacting chaotically. So in character development, I got to think about what I'm presenting, observe what she's feeding back, make necessary changes in my character, present again to create her character. But I don't want to interrupt her natural character. In other words, I want to cultivate all of the beautiful things that she possesses to give to people, like willingly give to people. Never forced to take, willingly comply. So in this character development exercises of focusing on 5 main areas of our life, I want to become healthy, mentally, physically healthy. I want my horse mentally, physically healthy. So I've got to free up any restrictions in her mind of doubt, confusion, anxiety, fear, because that's going to transmit into her body, causing restriction and breathing and heart rate, muscle tension, digestion. So in health, we focus on the 5 main areas of our lives. We want to focus on that with her. So in health, mentally, we're going to apply mental tension. We're going to get her thinking, but there's got to be a release. So anytime there's tension coming in the mind, tension going into the body, we've got to develop a release. I've developed a 5-part series. I'll kind of lean into that later, but I'll talk about it now. Where I can do it moving and breathing together, and then have what I call a stop exercise. Allows all the processes and procedures to catch up, balance, harmony, which is an agreement, and then we can add mental and physical tension back in. When I start to see feedback from the horse that they need a release, get more comfortable, stop exercise. So I developed what I call a 5-part series of questions, and each question has a purpose. And I'm going to compete with a lawnmower here, it looks like, so sorry. Go ahead, you're on your little, there you go. So we'll ask the first question a backup. That's starting that energy exchange that we talked about earlier. And I'll ask her with light pressure, energy exchange, send vibrational frequency down the lead rope. Ask for a hoof to back up, release that pressure, energy, as a thank you. Mental tension goes away, physical tension goes away. There's always going to be some, but we're playing with this energy exchange so that we can see what does the horse need at what given time. What do I got to change? What do I need? Am I tense? Am I mentally overworking? Do I need to stop exercise and relax? So that backup is a correspondence between the horse and I, how things work together. I want to ask her to back up. That's going to release tension sometimes. In a wild horse, they're with a person, they're like, I'm not comfortable here, but non-verbally they're not showing me that. Their attitude isn't even showing me that. But when I ask them to back up and they decompress or deflate, it's like, oh, they're more comfortable 5 feet away rather than the 2 feet I had them. So we establish one little marker of like, okay, this horse is a little distant. That's okay, let them operate distant so that we can start creating draw for closeness. Some horses are opposite on the scale. They're really close and comfortable. Put them out, they're a little, oh, I don't like this. There's a balance. So that backup question is where we start to identify that. And then introducing a person into it is the same thing. I may have a person that's more comfortable with the horse 5 feet away than 1 foot at them. So I can ask this horse, hey, let's ask you to back away. And then I'll watch the person decompress. And it's like, okay, cool. Let's operate at this distance. So then we'll ask the horse to move. We want to start trading energy, let her put energy into the ground. Some horses need to do that. Standing is one polarity change from moving. How fast do they move? I get to observe, like, do they just start into a trot? Trained a lot of horses where people just run them and run them and run them. and they think that's what they're supposed to do. And it's like, no, we're going to change this restriction in the mind, tension in the body, develop a character in the horse to where they can think, respond quietly, rather than not think, react chaotically. So polarity, one end of the spectrum to the other. So I'll ask her to move in a direction. I just want to point. If that's all I have to do, then relax to say thank you. That's an energy exchange. I can observe the horse from the left side. She observes me from her left eye. I can watch how she moves. Then I can change directions. That'd be the second question. We'll go to the third question. Switch hands, and we just point the other direction. Then I can watch the horse from the right side. She can watch me out of her right eye. I can see how she moves. Then I can apply energy to the hind quarter, create draw, ground tie, stop exercise. So when we stop exercise, we draw a breath. We draw it in deep, and then we relax. We relax our mind, our body. She can relax her mind and body as needed. If she doesn't do it, she didn't need it. But what you'll find is, as you do this process, this series, she'll start developing an understanding. If she does need it, she'll show you, and then you mimic what she does. So let me just say something here real quick. See how she's wiggling around on the ground tie. Something back there wasn't comfortable. She gave me feedback. She repositioned. You know, it's like, let me make sure. She's still respecting the question of, you're tied to the ground. You know, if I disengage off the horse, she understands you're tied to the ground. However, I need to see the feedback rather than restrain her and say, hey, you're staying here. You're not allowed to move. And then I can ask her a question. Hey, I really need you to come back in here. I really need you to move that hip. I really need you to draw here. I really need you to ground tie. Stop exercise. Take a breath. Trigger body responsive relaxation in her mouth, the tension in her mouth. Trigger body responsive relaxation in her breathing, in her heart rate, in her digestion, in her muscles. Get her comfortable. Energy exchange. Character development. Wash, rinse, repeat. Through law of repetition, I can create a character in the horse. I can create a character in myself. So what we think about, we bring about. What we think and do, we become. What she thinks and does, she becomes. We form habits through law of repetition. We create a character. So then whenever we understand our character, we go to a strange place like this. I can see subtle or obvious changes in my horse, energy, and I can use energy to create the character that I know she is, regardless of any outside influence, based on what we did in the interactive system, which we haven't really got there yet, but of energy exchange. And so I can bring her energy, free restriction in her mind, tension in her body, do that for myself. Because when I transfer up to her back, as above, so below, we're going to continue to do that. And you weren't here for the first demo, and I rode her, and she was like, I don't like this, and we came back around. And that's what that series of questions for, because we do it on the ground and can transfer to her back. We can do it on her back. We can do it anywhere. I'll ride her to town, doesn't matter. Ride her to the beach, doesn't matter. It's that character development. It's pretty cool, isn't it? And like, people will focus on things that aren't relative. So yeah, she's ground tied and she wiggles around a little bit, but she's communicating. She's like, hey, I'm not comfortable. Something happened. I need to see that. And I'm asking her the question. So there's no need for me to be like, restrain her. Now she takes off. I'll have to go get her, which she's never done, because I could create draw, manipulate the 5 body parts of the horse to create that draw. So whenever you get less and less dependent on a lead rope, you can actually ask her to come with you and do the things you want to do by manipulating those body parts. So if I need her face to come here, I don't want to pull the rope. I like to create draw. So I need to push a body part somewhere. So, and then create the draw. And she's like, no, I'll leave. But I can push this body part. Create the draw here in the face. And then we don't need the rope. And then you can just wash, rinse, repeat in that energy exchange for character development. Because I would want to follow some rules, never force her to submit with pain or fear. So if I'm not even touching her like physically, but I could use energy, it's like, wow, that's so much more efficient and effective, because I could do that all day. She won't get irritated by that. And then the philosophy of change place with the horse, treat them as you'd want to be treated. Then she starts to understand, wow, this is a benefit. I actually want to develop into this character that you're trying to create because it's of value. And then the human horse experience is a value. It's not a detriment. And that's what they do. They operate in the game of life, how to benefit and how to not get hurt. Same way we should do it, but most people don't. They're like, don't even think of that. So it's pretty cool. Yeah, and basically just show people how to transition from where they are to where they want to be. You want to be in peace, or you want to be in chaos? Start trading energy and figure it out. And I don't try to plant too many seeds. So like, I'm telling you guys a lot of stuff, but I like to let somebody experience it for themselves. It's pretty cool. Come over here. I see you creeping. I see you creeping. Come here. That's a good girl. That's a good girl. That's a good girl. Where are you going? You want to leave? I didn't know we were going to have all this extra engines and motorcycles and noise. I mean, but it's so good because I don't care about outside influences, because I can develop this feedback loop with my horse to where I present energy, information, and observe her feedback, and then we have this loop transferring between us. She tells me she needs something, I can offer to help her, get her comfortable, free up the restriction in her mind, tension in her body. And then it happens for me, because when I see her start to relax, then I start to relax. But I initiated the cause for the effect. And then we go into rhythm. So these 5-part series, it's where you can get a look, you get to see, and then stop exercise. Breathe, relax, and then do another one. And then as you do 5, 7, you start to see a rhythm, a pattern recognition, nonverbal communication, energy exchange. And then we talk about those 5 main areas of your life: health, and then we go into wealth. And then what would be wealth? People will relate it to money, which we could, but energy. Your energy is value. You should think of your energy as a budget of money. Like, what am I going to give my energy to? What am I going to let drain my energy? Those are the same thing horses think about. If I'm going to have a relationship with her and it's always draining her energy, is she going to run from me when I take a halter out there? Or is she going to draw to me when I ask her to? It's energy exchange. That's got to be thought of as wealth. So your health, your wealth. And then you go into happiness. And a lot of people define happiness in many ways, but I define it as, what do I find joy in doing? In the moment, am I having a joyous experience or opposite? I got to think that for her. Each and every interaction that we do, I would like her to find joy in it. So we're in this crazy place right now for her. And as you saw, you might not have, but when she got out of the trailer, she was at a heightened state of awareness. Head really high, body constricted, tension in the mind, tension in the body. Not really willing to exchange energies other than flee. Yeah, so to prove my point, we go through this, and I could create the character in any, regardless of any outside influence. But see, people can do that for themselves. They can go into an environment and get a little off center, but know how to character develop into what they want. And that's why we focus on those 5 main areas of life. So whatever you're doing, you try to find joy in it. I tend to say it through thinking and association. So like, I'm going to do a mind melt on you for a second. When you leave here, you're going to notice a yellow car because you're looking for it. So in every opportunity, you look for joy, and you'll find it because you're looking for it. It may not be very fun at first, but then you'll start to look for the joy in the experience. And you keep doing that, you create a habit, form a character. So she can really balance out a lot quicker when she starts to find joy in what we're doing. So I took her into Tractor Supply, and we happened to find some corn on the ground. And I was like, yeah, here's my joy. I need to give her. But it just works. So you look for opportunities to find joy, you create happiness. So then we get to the fourth thing, relationship. I know most people, they probably don't want to synchronize up with somebody who's not healthy, wealthy, and happy. I mean, what are the opposites? Sick, broke, and unhappy? How are you going to form a relationship with that? So a horse, same thing. I want to form this relationship with her. I got to be healthy, wealthy. And I'm not talking about money in this instance, but she does like to eat, so there's that. But it's like, where's my energy going? Am I letting it drain out? Or am I guarding it and investing it and getting a return on it? So healthy, wealthy, happiness. And then you form a relationship, a correspondence, how things work together. Am I obstructing or an aversion or an irritation to her? Or am I the opposite, where she's drawing, willingness, has a voice, wants to serve in the same capacity that I do? And then we get to spirituality. That's a cool one. You watch Native Americans with horses, you know, they tapped into the spirituality piece, in my opinion. And that's where you go within and you find answers to questions that aren't without. And horses help guide us to do that. There's a very obvious spiritual piece to horses. It's a very calming openness to horses. And when a person synchronizes up with that, they get answers to questions they don't know that were there. Or maybe they did and couldn't find them out. You go within, synchronize, find them. So that's character development. Hope you enjoyed that. Got any questions? I'm just gonna be here if you need me. Absolutely, go for it. You want to pet her? Sure. Well, get in here.
How old is Cinnamon?
She's 17.
She's 17.
She's 17. She's older than me.
Oh, there you go. There you go. And how long have you had her?
I've had her for 12 years.
12 years.
Yeah, Cinnamon came to me as a 5-year-old. She was.
Ride her without a saddle or a bridle, correct?
That's right. I just did that demo on the last hour ago. I jumped on her because the lady asked me, "Have you ever ridden her?" I was like,
Oh,
"I don't know." It was not today.
I can vouch for him doing that. Yes, I have seen him ride Cinnamon.
So one of the most beautiful things about horsemanship that I learned is the same man will never sit on the same horse twice. And let's think about that for a minute. What does that mean? If we're ever changing, and she's ever changing, what we do today prepares her for tomorrow. She'll be different tomorrow than she is today. If I rode her again, she's going to be different than she was when I rode her earlier. I'm different. She's different. We're energy exchanging. We're balancing. We're centering. Or we're not. The point is, the same man will never sit on the same horse twice. Whenever we start to understand this character development. I'm sorry?
It's funny, we have a barn full of horses and we still meet them and have the other horses.
Oh man, they're addicting. They're addicting. If I went to your place, I'd be like, oh, they're addicting. I love them so much.
Where did she come from?
Nevada.
Nevada.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're local, are you in Athens?
Yeah, I'm off Linden Road. Yeah.
Do you do much with training and stuff like that?
Yeah, we have a school, horsemanship school, American Mustang School. You can check it out online or YouTube. Yeah.
Does your book explain all of this?
Not really. It's the second book. I'm writing it. It would go deeper. It touches on it. Yeah. But I didn't go as deep and as descriptive in the book because I never wrote a book before, so I was like, it would have been that deep. So I had to like. Good to see you, Kathy. Hey, could you turn that off?